You're listening to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, created to help you succeed in your Security Plus certification journey. Learn more at baremetalcyber.com, where additional prepcasts, books, and training materials await. Let's get started. The security monitoring tool ecosystem is best understood as a layered environment of collection, aggregation, detection, and orchestration platforms. Collection tools gather logs, telemetry, and signals from diverse endpoints, networks, and cloud systems. Aggregation systems consolidate these feeds into central repositories where they can be parsed and normalized. Detection platforms apply rules, analytics, or machine learning to surface suspicious activity, while orchestration tools help automate responses across teams and technologies. Each category plays a distinct but interconnected role, ensuring organizations can not only gather signals but also turn them into actionable insight. A hardened monitoring architecture carefully balances these layers, maximizing coverage while minimizing complexity. Log collectors and forwarders provide the foundation for reliable ingestion. They ensure logs from servers, endpoints, applications, and network devices are captured consistently and transmitted to central systems without loss. Forwarders often include buffering and compression to handle bandwidth constraints, as well as encryption to protect log integrity in transit. Without them, security monitoring programs risk blind spots and unreliable data streams. Hardened organizations deploy collectors widely and validate that every critical system sends its logs securely, making this component the backbone of effective monitoring. Security Information and Event Management, or SIEM, platforms represent the next layer. They normalize diverse log formats into a common schema, allowing analysts to query data consistently. SIEMs apply correlation logic to connect related events, such as failed logins followed by privilege escalation. They also manage retention policies to store data for compliance and support forensic searches. Searchability is a key feature analysts rely on SIEMs to pivot across vast datasets quickly. Hardened programs recognize SIEMs as the analytical hub of monitoring, but they also acknowledge the importance of tuning to reduce noise and manage costs. Network detection and response (NDR) tools provide visibility into lateral movement and command and control activity. By analyzing network flows and deep packet data, NDR solutions can detect when attackers move between systems or attempt to maintain persistence. They are especially valuable against stealthy intrusions where endpoint agents may be blind. For example, an NDR might reveal unusual encrypted traffic patterns or data exfiltration attempts. Hardened organizations integrate NDR into their monitoring stack to complement endpoint and SIEM tools, ensuring that network-level anomalies do not go unnoticed. Endpoint Detection and Response (EDR) and its broader evolution, Extended Detection and Response (XDR), offer deep visibility at the device level. EDR focuses on endpoints, tracking processes, file changes, and user actions. XDR expands this scope to integrate signals from endpoints, networks, cloud workloads, and email systems, correlating activity across domains. While EDR is essential for detecting malware or insider abuse on devices, XDR provides a more unified perspective across the enterprise. Hardened programs assess which model best suits their visibility needs, often adopting XDR to reduce silos and streamline investigations. Cloud-native telemetry has become a critical monitoring source as organizations move workloads off-premises. Cloud providers offer primitives such as flow logs, API activity streams, and configuration monitoring. These feeds expose unauthorized changes, suspicious access patterns, and misconfigurations that attackers exploit. For example, a sudden spike in object storage downloads may signal exfiltration. Hardened organizations ensure their monitoring tools integrate directly with provider APIs, treating cloud telemetry as a first-class input rather than an afterthought. Cloud-native monitoring closes visibility gaps in environments where traditional agents may not apply. Metrics and application performance monitoring (APM) tools are often considered operational, but they also provide valuable security context. Metrics like CPU, memory, and response times can reveal anomalies linked to cryptojacking or denial-of-service attacks. APM tools trace transactions across microservices, highlighting latency spikes caused by malicious inputs or resource exhaustion. Hardened programs integrate these observability tools into security workflows, recognizing that performance degradation may be an early sign of attack. This convergence of performance and security monitoring strengthens both domains. Data loss prevention (DLP) and cloud access security brokers (CASB) act as data-aware monitoring tools. DLP inspects content to prevent unauthorized sharing of sensitive information through email, file transfers, or removable media. CASBs extend this protection to cloud services, enforcing policy on how data can be accessed, shared, or stored in SaaS platforms. These tools provide content-level visibility often missing in traditional monitoring stacks. Hardened organizations integrate DLP and CASB signals into their SIEMs, ensuring that monitoring covers not only infrastructure activity, but also the movement of critical information assets. Threat intelligence platforms enrich detections by adding context about adversary infrastructure, malware signatures, or industry-specific campaigns. These platforms aggregate feeds, validate data quality, and provide scoring to prioritize indicators. For example, an IP flagged by multiple sources as a command and control node receives higher weight in investigations. Hardened programs integrate tips into their pipelines so alerts are enriched automatically with reputation and threat context. This turns raw indicators into prioritized signals, sharpening the focus of analysts on the most dangerous activity. Integration patterns hold the monitoring ecosystem together. Tools must connect seamlessly, whether through APIs, direct connectors, or message buses that pass telemetry into shared data lakes. Without integration, monitoring systems create silos, each generating alerts in isolation. Hardened organizations prioritize tools that expose flexible APIs and standard connectors, reducing the friction of joining systems into a coherent workflow. Integration ensures enrichment, detection, and response happen across the stack rather than within individual products. Ultimately, selecting security monitoring tools comes down to use case, integration capability, and telemetry coverage. No single product solves every problem, and chasing features without alignment creates waste. Hardened organizations evaluate tools by how well they address specific monitoring goals, how easily they integrate into existing pipelines, and whether they expand visibility into critical assets. The best tools are not the ones with the most checkboxes, but those that provide usable data, align with workflows, and empower analysts to detect and respond effectively. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Evaluating monitoring tools requires looking at multiple criteria beyond simple feature checklists. Coverage is a primary consideration. Does the tool collect telemetry from all critical assets, including endpoints, networks, and cloud workloads? Detection capability matters equally. Does it provide reliable signatures, anomaly detection, or machine learning analytics? False positive rates must be measured, as noisy tools create analyst fatigue and reduce trust. Finally, operational cost, both financial and in staff time, determines sustainability. Hardened organizations assess tools holistically, ensuring they strike the right balance between capability, efficiency, and affordability. Log retention and indexing costs are particularly important when evaluating CM solutions. Collecting logs at scale quickly grows expensive, especially if all data is retained at high resolution. Organizations must weigh compliance requirements and forensic needs against the financial and storage burden. Indexing affects both speed and cost. Dense indexing makes queries faster but consumes more resources. Hardened programs design tiered retention strategies, storing recent data in high fidelity for investigations while aggregating older data for trend analysis. This ensures compliance without overwhelming budgets. Deployment models further shape tool selection. On-premises solutions offer maximum control but require significant investment in infrastructure and staff. Cloud-managed models reduce maintenance but may introduce data residency concerns. SaaS-based CEMs and monitoring platforms provide rapid deployment and scaling, but can lead to higher long-term costs. Hybrid models combine elements using local collectors while leveraging cloud analytics. Hardened organizations weigh trade-offs between control, compliance, cost, and scalability, choosing deployment models aligned with both technical and regulatory requirements. Data flow architecture ensures monitoring pipelines remain resilient. Collectors must reliably ingest logs, parsers must handle diverse formats, and storage must remain available during spikes or outages. Without resilient data flows, monitoring breaks at the moment it is needed most. Hardened organizations design redundancy into every layer collectors with failover, distributed parsing engines, and replicated storage systems. This ensures monitoring continues uninterrupted, even during attacks or system failures, preserving visibility and continuity of defense. Vendor lock-in is a significant risk with proprietary tools. When platforms use closed formats or unique connectors, migrating later can be costly and disruptive. Open telemetry standards and schema adoption mitigate this risk, allowing organizations to switch vendors or add complementary tools without starting over. Hardened organizations prioritize tools that support standardized formats, APIs, and export capabilities. By avoiding lock-in, they maintain long-term flexibility, ensuring their monitoring ecosystem evolves alongside business and threat landscapes. Alerting and notification integration is critical for turning detections into actions. Tools must connect with ticketing platforms to track investigations, chat operations, chat hops, tools to notify responders, and paging systems to escalate urgent issues. Without integration, alerts sit unseen in dashboards. Hardened programs ensure monitoring platforms feed into operational workflows seamlessly, reducing delays and guaranteeing analysts engage promptly. This integration transforms detections from static signals into living incidents, actively tracked and resolved. Role-based access and multi-tenant support are vital when monitoring environments are managed by service providers or large internal teams. Different analysts and departments need tailored access. Some may only require visibility into specific assets, while others handle cross-domain investigations. Multi-tenancy allows service providers to monitor multiple clients without cross-contamination of data. Hardened organizations enforce strict access models, ensuring monitoring tools provide visibility without sacrificing security or compliance. Scaling considerations grow as telemetry sources expand. High cardinality data, such as identity logs or container events, can overwhelm platforms not designed for such volume. Tools must handle both velocity and diversity, scaling horizontally as data grows. Hardened programs test scalability early, ensuring platforms can sustain future growth. Monitoring architectures built for scale reduce outages, prevent backlogs, and maintain performance even as organizations digitize more assets and expand their attack surfaces. Proof-of-concept testing validates tool fit under real conditions. By feeding realistic telemetry logs from endpoints, flows from networks, and activity from cloud workloads, organizations measure how tools perform in practice. This testing exposes hidden limitations, such as slow queries or missing integrations, before full deployment. Hardened organizations never rely on vendor promises alone. They demand empirical results. A successful proof of concept demonstrates detection accuracy, scalability, and workflow integration, proving the tool supports operational needs. Cost-to-value metrics provide the final assessment lens. Tools must be measured not just by expense, but by outcomes. How much faster they enable detection, how much analyst workload they reduce, or how effectively they lower risk. Total cost of ownership includes licensing, infrastructure, and staffing. Hardened programs weigh cost against value, ensuring investments in monitoring drive measurable improvements in security posture rather than creating expensive dashboards with little operational impact. Support and community ecosystem also influence long-term sustainability. Strong vendor support ensures rapid fixes and guidance during incidents. Community ecosystems provide shared detection rules, integrations, and knowledge. Tools with active communities evolve faster, benefiting from collective experience. Hardened organizations favor platforms with both vendor reliability and vibrant user bases, ensuring long-term adaptability. Monitoring is not a one-time purchase but an evolving capability, and sustainability depends on both vendor commitment and community engagement. Ultimately, monitoring tool selection must be driven by telemetry needs, detection goals, and operational capacity. A tool that cannot ingest critical feeds is useless, no matter how advanced its analytics. A platform that overwhelms analysts with alerts without integration into workflows reduces efficiency. Hardened organizations prioritize alignment, the right tools for their environment, integrated into processes, and capable of scaling sustainably. By making choices grounded in need, not hype, they build ecosystems that deliver meaningful detection, efficient workflows, and lasting resilience. Thanks for tuning in to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, your trusted source for cybersecurity news and insights. Remember to subscribe at baremetalcyber.com so you never miss an update. And visit cyberauthor.me for best-selling cybersecurity books that equip you with expert knowledge. Until next time, stay secure and stay vigilant.